Welcome up to the show tonight, guys. Studio 321. This is your host, Eddie B. All right, guys. So today there was a school shooting in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. It was a church school. 18 kids wounded, 2 killed. And the gunman killed himself. Okay. The gunman was identified as Robert Westman, also known as Robin Westman. He was a transgender 22-year-old from that area. Now, the mayor was on there today talking all this stuff and don't blame this, don't blame that, but I'm going to tell you who's to blame for this for real.
I have heard about a whole lot of hate that's being directed at our trans community. Anybody who is using this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community or any other community out there has lost their sense of common humanity. We should not be operating out of a place of hate for anyone. We should be operating from a place of love for our kids. Kids died today. This needs to be about them. This needs to be wrapping our arms around these families with every bit of love that we can possibly show.
This is the Democrat leaders' fault 100%, okay? The Democratic politicians own this. The blood is on them for this, okay? Now, they're going to tell you it's the gun's fault. They're going to tell you it's the gun law's fault. They're going to tell you every other thing, but they did this, and I'm going to explain that to you why. Okay, look. The Democrats have been radicalizing the gay and trans community for the last 10 years. That's a fact 100%, okay? Ever since Obama left office, they needed to shore up their support in the gay community. Now, they knew that Obama supported the gay and trans community, so when Trump took over, they needed to push them away from supporting Trump, right? So what did they do? They run around for the last 10 years telling the gay and trans community that conservatives and Christians hate them, Trump hates them, they want to see him dead, they're in danger, they should live in fear. I've seen articles about, they should go take gun courses and learn how to defend themselves because they're unsafe. Just a bunch of silly nonsense, right? And the Democrats have played into this the entire time to make sure that the gay and transgender community voted for them, right? That's politics, man. But here's the problem. What you do is you create radicals like this kid. Now, think about that. They've been doing this radical crap for about 10 years. This kid's 22 years old, right? So he's been hearing this since he's 12. They hate you, they hate you, they hate you, they hate you. That's all he hears. Young minds are very bendable anyways. You're not usually very bright at that point in your life. Then you throw an identity crisis on top of that. You don't know who you are for whatever reason. Okay? Now you've got a dangerous person. Okay? Because this is a person that acts like they have nothing to lose. And on the way out the door, they're going to take everybody with them. And that's what happened today. Okay? This is on the Democrats, 100%. You couldn't tell me any different because it ain't no different, okay? This is no different than what they do to the young kids in the Middle East. You know those kids that end up with suicide bombs on them? They go up and blow up a bunch of people? It's the same thing. This today was basically the American version of a suicide bomber. For sure, right? Over in the Middle East, they pick these young kids out, right? They know the signs, they know what to look for, and they radicalize them. The kids who seem to be a little bit extreme in their groups, they pull them, they teach them, they radicalize them, they make them want to die, they make them want to do all this crazy stuff, and in the end, that's what they do. Okay? Fill their head with a bunch of nonsense, so you're going to be a martyr, your family's all going to go to heaven, blah, blah, blah. So that's what they do in the Middle East. Over here, it's done differently, but it's done by the Democratic Party. They put it out to the entire nation all the time. They hate you. They hate you. They hate you. These guys hate you. conservatives and Republicans, they hate these people. They hate the Jews. They hate, they hate the gays. They hate the trans. They hate the black. They hate Hispanics. They hate the Mexicans. It's all this hate-based crap, right? And they know that in that whole group, there's going to be some radicals or some people with some potential to become radicals. And what they do is, as those people get older, and again, this kid was 22. He's been hearing this crap for 10 years. You get older, you start to become a more serious person, and then you become capable of doing serious crime and serious damage to people. That kid was an idiot. He was a terrible person. He should have, I wouldn't even begin to say, what could have fixed this kid, because I don't know. But I'm telling you that the Democrats have done this to their own supporters. They've radicalized them. They're going to create a whole generation of people who are out of control. They won't even be able to control them themselves. Okay? So I don't know what they're going to do about this. I don't. This is like, I think, the third transgender shooting, I believe, this year. It's starting to show a pattern. Now, look, there's been a lot of shootings, right, over the years. A lot of stuff has happened, from all races. You've got, mass killings from white kids, black kids, everybody. So it's hard to break it down by group. But now you're starting to see all this transgender stuff happening, okay? And you can tell, look, we've got enough problems already, but you can tell that this is why. It's because they're being radicalized. And it's a terrible thing, because these politicians, they never pay the price for this stuff. They can do this stuff day in and day out and run around telling everybody that the conservatives and Republicans, they hate you, they hate you, they hate you. And nothing ever gets done to them. But I'm telling you, and I did a podcast on this a while back, they need to change the rules for politicians in America, okay? The ethics boards, they need to really tighten up on them about what they say. Stop all the racial stuff. Do not allow it. Kick them out of the government. Don't want to hear no more racial stuff, no more hatred stuff, none of it. Policy only. But the problem is, you see, half of them ain't good at policy. All they're good at is race baiting and fear mongering and stowing the hate to keep everybody separated. And it's ridiculous, man, because we're not going to be able to solve these problems ever if you keep creating generations of radicals. So we'll see what happens, guys. Man, my heart goes out to them kids. I hope their families can find some closure and but it's not going to be good. It's just not. It's not. You wish them the best, but it's not good. So anyways, guys, this is Eddie from Studio 321. I'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.